Hey, what's up, you guys? Does capitalism get you down?
Does the constant pressure to be productive get to you?
Are you tired of being a cog in the machine?
Productivity porn has created a business around making you think that constantly being productive will lead to a fulfilling life. However, this mindset has created unhappy, anxious, and burnt out people.
On our podcast, we aim to entertain by providing useless information just for the joy of it and giving you time in the day to stop the gears of capitalism.
And if you're thinking, what's the point of this podcast? Then we invite you to be part of the revolution against toxic productivity by embracing the useless things.
Welcome to episode 33 of the Very Unimportant People podcast.
Woo! Do less.
My name is Lidia, and this week I was summoned for jury duty. I don't know if that's confidential information, but I was excited.
I don't think it is, but that's super exciting. It's like one of my dreams.
I know, crazy. Can't wait.
And my name's Courtney, and this week I completed my final course of my master's degree program.
Oh my god, congratulations! Dude, you're almost free.
Only 1 year to go. So close.
So amazing. Congratulations. Thanks. I mean, how has it been? I'm almost afraid to ask because I know it's been hell. I know it's been hell on earth.
Oh, yeah. Like the program in total has been absolute hell. It was a little bit of an awkward last class because I was doing work training on one computer and my last class on the other computer.
Oh, really?
And then I had to like do something for work training where I was like really involved. So I literally just completely forgot that I was in class for probably an hour and a half.
Oof.
And then when I got back on, he was like, okay, so like let's just go around and say like final comments about the class. And I was like,
wow.
Did I potentially miss a moment when he asked me to say something and I just didn't reply? But he didn't say anything when I came back. So I like gave my final little thank you and little spiel to everyone and then signed out. I still have an assignment due tomorrow, so that's a little rough, but
it's not over till it's over.
And the rest of the degree to do, but it's the first milestone, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The class portion is over. You can finally relax and just do the thing that you want to do. Research.
Bam.
Bam. Research. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Good for you.
Thanks.
That's so amazing. You made it through. You did it. And you still have your dignity. And that's what really matters. No problem.
Thank you. I mean, speaking of making it, though, jury duty is unlocking a new level of adults. It's amazing.
That's such a funny way to put it. I can't. Yeah, I'm surprised. You know what shocked me the most is I have a few friends in the neighborhood, and some of them were also summoned for jury duty, and they put their letters in the shredder. And I was like, why would you do that? Don't you want to go to jury duty?
Yeah.
Do people not want to do jury duty? I didn't know.
It's like a dream of mine. It sounds like so much fun. You get in on all the drama.
Right. That's what I'm saying too. And so, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You get like a free hotel. You get free food. I don't know what else you get. Hopefully Wi-Fi. But
I think that's only if it's a big case that takes more than one day that they do all those things for you. Okay, but you are correct. Yeah. If it's like a big case. But sometimes they're just small cases that take like a day or.
Oh, true.
They're not always like
murder cases. Gonna be. I think honestly it might have something to do with that because in the letter that they sent me, they said that juries are normally only selected if a coroner says that there needs to be a jury. And a coroner means that there's a body. I might have misread it because I just was like skimming it because I was so excited to go to jury duty. I was like, do I qualify? Please, do I qualify? And I do because I'm a queen. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. I hope they choose me. I hope I don't know anything about the case or anything like that. And then I can tell you guys all the tea. Well, these are people's lives, so I probably can't tell you.
I don't think you can. I think
that's confidential information.
Yeah.
I love it. Now I have a big secret.
Oh.
Now I'm even more mysterious.
Speaking of illegal, though, you should probably let your friends know. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to shred the letter. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to go in. Like, if you're summoned, you're summoned.
That's what I thought as well.
They know where you live. Like, they delivered the letter.
Right. They can just come and get you and send you a letter again and again and again. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to do something. That's what I said, too. I thought it was illegal, too, but they never got the letter, so...
Also, if they go in and just like say that they like are a student or something like that, they normally don't select you. They normally just let you not do it. So
yeah, that happened to my brother
it's
too.
so exciting. You get to be
that's
part
what I
of like
think.
that legal system. So cool.
Yeah, I get to participate in democracy.
Amazing.
That's kind of cool. I mean, I love it. Let's go.
Keep us updated on that one. When is your date? When do you have to go in?
It doesn't tell me anything about it. It just asks for a bunch of information, like, do you speak English? Can you read English? How old are you? And what job do you currently have? So that was fun to write down what my job is right now, because it's very unique. So I was like, okay, this is a little awkward. But pretty much they just wanted to know that like I don't work in the legal system, and that I'm not like a cop or a firefighter. I'm not with the army or working as a student who is like working in law or something like that. So pretty much I'm good. I'm not working in law. I don't know if you can tell, guys, but I'm not a lawyer. So I'm good on that front. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you.
Thank you, guys.
Hope that you get it.
Thanks. I hope I get chosen too. It's so special. Anyways, speaking of democracy, I'm starting the podcast this week with my opinion. I don't know. I'm trying to make it work in my mind. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I saw on TikTok. And, you know, I saw it literally today, and it was just this person talking about how everybody has this thing about Barney the dinosaur. If you guys remember that TV show, it was like this giant dinosaur suit similar to those bodysuits that people wear at Mickey Mouse and Disney, and it was like this purple thing, and it was kind of creepy, and he would like sing and dance and prance around with the kids and like teach lessons that were invaluable. He would ask kids questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up, and other like really random stuff. I didn't actually watch the show that much, but what I did know about it was what this girl was talking about on TikTok, which was the rhymes that people used to make up about Barney the dinosaur. Mm-hmm. So my personal one at my school went like this. I love you, you love me, let's team up and kill Barney with a fork and a knife and a 2x4. No more purple dinosaur.
Oh, that wasn't ours.
What was yours?
I'm trying to remember now.
There was a lot.
I love
like,
you love me.
There was so many, bro. I saw this
something
whole
about
forum
a baseball bat.
Oh yeah, the baseball bat one. That's a classic. And a baseball
Maybe
bat.
flushing someone down. Yeah.
Oh, you something
down
about
a toilet?
Yeah, flushing his head down the toilet. Yes. I might remember that one. It might be a different rhyme though. It might be like,
I love you love me. Let's team up and kill Barney with a baseball bat.
And a
hammer and a nail.
Yeah. Watch his head swirl and swirl.
Okay, yeah, I think the toilet is a different song, but that was the middle. I don't remember the conclusion to it, but we did have songs about killing Barney.
Yeah, right? Everybody had songs about killing Barney. Like, why? This was kind of the beginning of the TikTok, you know, and then she talked about this Wikipedia page called Anti-Barney Humor, about how like randomly like kids all around the world had, well, not all around the world, maybe like only North America. I don't really know that much about what's going on around the world, especially when I was in grade 2, but there were so many iterations of this song, and she was just kind of like, why the fuck did we all hate Barney so much? And I was like, why did we hate Barney so much? But before I get into that, I want to get you through how much hate there was of Barney. Because people freaking hated this dinosaur. Like, there was hella iterations about the song. They just hated the show. Like, people did not like the TV show whatsoever. People mostly, this was kind of the general consensus of it, the kids themselves thought that the show was childish. So it was easy for the kids to like make fun of the show when they thought that it was childish. So they would be like, hey, like, this is a stupid show, blah, blah, blah. But it literally sparked so much violence. People would make a mockery of him. There was a lot of physical violence, including but not limited to murder, decapitations, stabbings.
Wait, murder?
They would murder Barney. Like, not in real life. It was just like about Barney. They would be like, no more purple
that
dinosaur.
escalated
like,
really quickly.
No. I mean, no one murdered Barney. I mean, Barney once was beat up at a mall by 2 youths. And it was like a real person in the Barney suit, which took it a little far. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a little sad.
But I don't think that they like realized what they were doing. They were just like, Barney, let's get him. You know, kids are kids. Barney. Kids are savages, dude. Exactly. There was several comic book iterations called just plainly and beautifully Kill Barney. There was also a video
Nice.
game released for Macs, and like Macs were in their early stages when people were like, we hate Barney. Like Barney came out in like the 1992 to like 2010 era, so this was like kind of early internet, and this kind of brought everybody together hating Barney. There was a
United
video game.
everyone.
I know. Not in the way he
hating
ever
Barney.
dreamed he would. The video game was called Carnage Barney. And the whole objective was just to hunt him down and kill him. There was so many parodies on YouTube of Barney being destroyed. I watched one of him being completely owned in a basketball game, where instead of just like shooting the ball and being like, "Ha, you suck, Barney," they like hit him in the face with the ball. He was like losing an eye, like he like fell on the ground and they stepped on him and still continued to like try to like shoot the ball and shit like that. There was a bunch of parodies about setting him on fire. People would make content of destroying the doll toys in different fun ways. They would explode him. They would like put bombs inside of
concerning.
him. I know.
It's so violent for
Like,
absolutely
this was the
no
content
reason.
that was on YouTube back in the day. Like people would just freaking destroy Barney, and
So
YouTube was like,
weird.
"That's sick, dude. Keep it up." There's also a video of beloved Muppet Elmo killing Barney with a shotgun in the head.
Oh, a good old
my God.
exteriorization.
Extra gravy on the side shin. There was also, this kind of is straying a little bit away from the online world, but there was, well, maybe not. There was a reference to Barney being a symbol for the devil. And this one I thought was kind of interesting because it brings us back to ciphers. So the words cute purple dinosaur are 666. Let me walk you through it. In Latin, U's are actually V's, so they didn't have U's. So everything in Cute Purple Dinosaur was V's. And then people removed all the letters that didn't exist in Latin and turned the remaining letters, which was L's and V's, into Roman numerals. They were left with the numbers 100, 5, 5, 50, 500, 1, and 5. And guess what those numbers added up to?
Oh my God.
666.
That...
Convincing, right?
I don't know. It feels like a coincidence. I feel like that couldn't have been planned.
How
That
is that a coincidence?
that is too much. That is too
Cute purple dinosaur. 666. It also works with cuddly purple dinosaur. So
I would be more impressed if the name Barney translated to 666. But I've never heard of this like cute purple dinosaur part.
oh really? Well, maybe I think it was
like a
slogan
tagline? Is it
or
like
something like that? Yeah, kind of. They kind of just were just like, thank you, purple dinosaur. It was just a thing that they liked to say. So
interesting?
it was definitely written into the script, and they were like, oh, perfect. It is the devil. The people must know. The people need
They
to
had
know.
a Latin expert on their writing team for a children's show.
Hell yeah. And that's why the kids loved it so much, because they love worshiping the devil. Oh my gosh. Oh God. Okay, this was so funny. Listen to this, guys. So there was also a lawsuit involving the San Diego chicken, which is kind of a similar style of like suit and costume as Barney, except it was a chicken. And the chicken, San Diego chicken, would go to major sporting events, and they would hire a Barney and the San Diego chicken to fight each other on the field, and for the chicken to win every time. So they would like brutally hurt each other and like make mockeries of each other and do like fake fights, you know, to rile up the crowd. So the guy who was in the chicken, Ted Giannullis, was actually the one who ended up getting sued by the Barney people. And these lawsuits did
Why?
not stop him. He, well, apparently was infringing on Barney's copyrights because they were using the literal dinosaur and he was getting beat up and they weren't making money from it. And it was a kind of a bad image for the show as a whole to get completely plummeted by a chicken, especially because it's a dinosaur. Those things are supposed to be
I mean,
kind of badass. And it
Like-
was a kid's show, you know.
were they aware of all the other things going on? Like the people blowing up Barney and like decapitating him, and were they aware of those things as well?
I
'Cause
believe that
feel
they
like
were.
They had
but
bigger fish to fry.
I think this was probably the bigger one at the time because the internet, I don't know if it was like huge, but it wasn't huge. You know what I mean? Like things that happen in real life was a little bit more of a big deal than things that were happening on the internet. Like seeing Barney and the chicken like viscerally fight each other in real life just to rile up a crowd
Yeah.
at a sports show might ruffle some feathers.
That's true. Here's my question, though. Did all of this hate for Barney, I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but did all of the hate, like, increase views for the Barney show? Did it, like, make people, like, watch it to make fun of it? Or did it decrease views because people hated it so much?
It definitely decreased views because people hated it so much. Like, the show wasn't actually doing too amazing, I don't think. Maybe people initially watched it and then they were like, oh, this is shit. And then obviously, like, the kids were watching it first. So that's kind of where it all started. And people were like, oh, okay, like, if the kids hate it, then we hate it. But I'll get into it a little later. Adults did watch some Barney. So maybe you're right. Maybe it kind of did spur a little bit of fame and popularity in the Barney fandom. Maybe that's why it went on for so long, because people were like, let's watch it just so we can hate on it. Yeah. That's a tactic.
It is.
That sure is. There's nothing more powerful than hate in the world. So I would imagine that they were making a lot of money off the fact that people, like, literally hated Barney so much. And also, that's a good point. I feel like this is a lot of publicity. You know, people probably didn't know who Barney was. And people were, like,
buying Barney dolls to destroy them on the internet, but, like, they're still buying Barney dolls.
Right?
It's
they're
a good
still
trend.
Making the money.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. So this guy, right, Gianulus, when he was asked about why he was, like, beating up Barney, he was quoted to say that Barney, the purple dinosaur, is a symbol of what is wrong with our society, an homage, if you will, to all the inane, banal platitudes that we readily accept and thrust unthinkingly upon children.
That was so many words. Oh my
God.
God.
I couldn't believe it. He also called him pot-bellied, sloppy, and someone who giggles compulsively in a tone unequaled and feeble-mindedness. And he called him an overripe eggplant, which, I mean, I couldn't agree more.
That's
kind of everything.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Right. So I just want you to guess, who do you think won the court case? Were they infringing on the rights, and did they get away with it?
I would assume that, yes, they were infringing on the rights. I would assume that Barney won.
You would assume. But actually, they lost. Yeah.
The court was like, yeah, we hate Barney too.
That's what bullshit. I thought too. I was like, that's biased. There's no way that they just got away with that.
The whole jury was part of the trend. They were like,
They're like, we hate Barney too. We're on team hate Barney. Fuck that purple dinosaur. You just stomp him to the ground. Like, I couldn't believe that they freaking lost. And that wasn't the only court case they lost. They lost like 3 or 4 court cases as, like, Barney people, of people so clearly infringing on their rights, and legal action would happen and they would lose. Like, there was this other one where someone posted a work called 150 Ways to Kill the Purple Dinosaur, and then the creators threatened legal action, and they literally, the people who wrote the article, Cybercheese, replied on the site saying that the threat was about as intellectual as the purple quivering mass of gyrating goo you call Barney, but that is also demeaning to everyone that visits our website and reads this worthless attempt and scare tactic.
Wow.
And then
some balls.
Dude, people fucking hated Barney, and they use such big words to talk about it. Like,
I know. I don't understand half of these quotes.
Is that just how they talked in, like, 2005? Like, is that just how people talked in 1995?
That's
they
true.
used bigger words than we did? They were a lot smarter.
I think so. Internet has become very, like, short form and very, like, slang. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I know. I feel like so many of these quotes today, like, reading them right now, sound like satire. Like, it just sounds like there's no way you're being serious about your crazy hate for Barney. Like, these words are so big. You're calling a kids show demeaning and a worthless attempt and quivering mass of gyrating goo. Like, no one uses words like that. You know, it just sounds like satire. But I feel like at the time, they were dead set. Like, because these words, they're intense. They're intense.
They are
intense
passionate.
Word.
Yeah.
Yes, extremely passionate. Okay, so there's this other thing that I kind of love, and it's just this beautiful thing of how the internet brought people together, and it segues pretty nicely into why people hated Barney, and it was called The Jyad to Destroy Barney, and it was an internet forum. And online, it was founded in 1995, and people were online talking about how much they freaking hate Barney and shit like that. The group describes themselves as an organization of people on the internet dedicated to defamation, humiliation, eradication, killing, and
eradication.
Yeah.
Okay.
And removal of Barney the Purple Dinosaur of the television show Barney and Friends from the airwaves and from every human's life.
That is a little much.
They
also,
were
I'm pretty
crazy
sure
in 1995, bro.
I'm pretty sure you can't eradicate one thing. I'm pretty sure eradication is like eradicate
wiping it.
Mosquitoes, right? Like a population of something. I don't think you can eradicate a person.
Like rats from Alberta.
Yeah, like rats from exactly.
Right.
You can't just like eradicate Lidia. Like that.
Well, they were eradicating
that's called murder.
The character from the television show. And I guess you can't kill a character from a television show.
I guess.
So their only option was eradication first and then killing second.
Okay. Still a little much. It's a long title.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot. It was a description. That was their game plan, if you will. Their memo. I don't know. So, okay, I actually want to bring you to this word, jihad. It's spelled Jihad. I actually don't know if I'm saying it right. It might be jihad. But for a long time, when you Googled that word, the first thing that came up was the Barney forum and the Barney website. But today when you Google it, it's actually here's the definition. Number one definition was a holy war waged on behalf of Islam as a religious duty.
I was gonna say. I'm like, I know this word, and this is not what I don't think it's related to Barney.
It's a personal struggle in devotion to Islam, especially involving a spiritual discipline. The second definition is a crusade for a principle or belief. So I think that's more of the direction that they are taking with it. But I just want you to know the intensity of this word.
Yeah, and that it didn't age particularly well.
Not particularly, no. Oh my God. I want to take you through this website a little bit, though, because it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Church of Satan website and a little bit of the Scientology website too, right? Because they had threefold truth. Well, you know, like it's a religion, right? So it has, let's just focus on the nice devil worship part. Devil, Satan, happy Courtney.
I love Satan.
And so they have, just like the Church of Satan, they have some truths, they have prophets, they have commandments, and they have rules, and they have followings, and they have really big words to describe all of this.
And just for people that don't like Barney.
Yeah, literally. So this was their threefold truth. And the author, they also had various authors on the Jihad, and the first one, his name was the High Prophet. And he's a retired jihadi. I'm sorry. He's retired, though. He's retired. I didn't want to say jihadi because that's kind of what it looks like, and that feels wrong. Anyway, so he's retired. So he doesn't work there anymore because obviously Barney has been canceled. It doesn't exist anymore as a TV show. I mean, you could probably still find it. But anyways, the threefold truth. The first one is that Barney is the demonic incarnation of all hell on earth. The second one.
Starting off strong. Okay.
So strong. Barney seeks to make the world his purple kingdom and does so by corrupting the innocent and weak to sponge minions. The third one. Barney must be destroyed. All else is irrelevant.
All else.
All else.
World hunger? Don't care.
Irrelevant. Our biggest enemy right now is Barney. So incredible. Dude, when I found this website, guys, www.jihad.net/faq.html. Find it and just, you won't be sorry. They describe themselves as a group of intellectuals and prophets who ponder the effects of Barney on life and the psychological well-being of children who watch it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Psychologists and prophets. Not psychologists, prophets and intellectuals. I thought you would like this part a little bit too. Not in like a scary way, but in like a normal way that like is kind of cute.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You shouldn't be too scared. It just says, Barney is not political. Barney is neither liberal nor conservative, Republican or Democratic nor libertarian. Barney is hell-spawned evil.
It's so weird. I just don't
crazy,
understand.
Right? I know that I couldn't believe it. They also have 10 commandments. Oh, one more funny thing I want to talk to you guys about. So, the word Barney, like we all know how Barney is kind of spelled, Barney, but how they spell it is B''Harnii to like give him this like demonic kind of name inclination. Barney. Like
why
throughout the entire thing they reference him like that. I don't know.
That is strange.
I'm
looking it up on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, go for it. This is how deeply they believed in this kind of stuff. They also had 10 commandments, which one of them included not to watch the show or your brain will be spongified. Also, you may use the name Barney in vain, but not too much because it makes people want to puke. And finally, Barney must be destroyed. All else is irrelevant.
Sorry, I thought I understood this thing, and now I realize that I don't understand it.
Oh, okay. Great.
It said that one.
What did
it just
say?
says demonic alternate spelling of Barney, frequently used during the anti-Barney craze of the mid to late 1990s. And then it says the thing about the U's and the V's. So in my head, I was like, oh, that's nice. Barney spelled without U's and V's. But then I realized that Barney doesn't have U's and V's in it. So
yeah, no. They just
that's
use
weird.
it as like a
Barney
way to just symbolize Barney. Oh, gosh. Luckily, on the Jihad website to destroy Barney, they also had reasons listed for why they hate him. So now finally we get to the crux of the argument.
Okay, let's hear it.
They say that the show presents a two-dimensional, unrealistic view of the world. And this view isn't very true. And Barney tells kids that if they act like they're perfect, everything is going to be fine, which isn't true. They also say that things are over-merchandised. Barney has promoted cheating in the past as one of his values or whatever. He's like, yeah, go ahead, cheat, make yourself blah, blah, blah. He promotes not thinking for yourself. And he shows like this value of people who don't go along with the group mentality as being shunned. So you need to go along with the group mentality or you're not going to fit in, you're going to be a loser, and you're not going to be cool, and you're not going to be a part of the group and everybody else. They don't encourage you to think for yourself. That one was kind of like a good one. I was like, damn, true. Like kids, it's so hard to be a kid, and like it's so easy to be on the outside and to just feel like you need to like conform yourself to a certain group to be a part of that group because you're like just a kid. You're just craving social interaction. You don't know yet that being yourself is like totally cool. So yeah, I mean, well, all other kids shows are teaching be yourself. Barney is like, don't be yourself. Be a part of the crew. Be a part of the gang. It also says that the colors are offensive to the eye. Couldn't agree more. And there's a quote from Barney that says, a stranger is a friend you've never met. On the one hand, this is cute.
It's nice.
On the other hand, stranger danger.
Stranger danger, yeah.
It's kind of super creepy. It's the exact opposite of what your parents teach you when you're going to school and a stranger is coming to pick you up. And they say that they're a friend of your mom's. So what do you do if that kind of happened? And if you're like, well, a stranger is just a friend that I don't know yet. What if you get kidnapped? What if something horrible happens to you? And then one of the final arguments for that was that it emotionally cripples children by forcing them to suppress negative emotions. And it forces them to only be the super good side of things, which doesn't paint like a realistic picture. And then in recent episodes, the last episode was in 2010, they promoted putting plastic boxes over kids' heads and catching bees and cooking on a stove without supervision. So yeah, that was kind of a little Jihad to destroy Barney summary, if you will.
I have a lot of feelings about that because, like, I agree that these things that you're talking about aren't necessarily positive things, but it just sounds like a children's show with poor writing. I don't know if it deserves the hate that it received. And saying that it's like forcing children to like, what did you say? Forcing children to hide negative emotion?
Yeah.
Like, it's not forcing anyone to do anything. It's a TV show.
Yeah. It's teaching
It's
them
modeling,
values.
but it's not forcing children to hide negative. Like, I have to believe that children aren't only watching Barney.
I know.
Like,
right?
I have to believe that they have friends and they're watching other TV shows and their parents are talking to them and teaching them things. And the like 1 hour of Barney a week, I don't think is going to ruin their life. I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just a thought.
How do you know?
I don't. I have no proof. I have no proof. I didn't watch Barney as a kid. But I don't know. Like, the TV shows that I watched as a kid, I don't think all of them had like perfect messaging to build up a perfect human. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it really had that much of an effect on me. I think I just thought that they were fun shows. I don't think I learned like life lessons from the TV shows that I watched.
Yeah, maybe. That's a really good point. I feel like that's probably not true. Just because I think that there is a lot of TV shows for kids that like teach important values, and the TV is something that kids will like always be kind of stuck to, and like they love it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they would constantly want to be watching it, and they do kind of learn from it. Like there was this example of Caillou and about how parents hate Caillou because it makes their children shrill and annoying, because Caillou was constantly like complaining and constantly screaming like "Mom" and the kind of annoying stuff, and then the kids would exemplify that in their real lives because they're so malleable at that age. Their brains are so easy. But
you know what? You know what those parents probably do? They just turn off Caillou.
Yeah, I know,
if it doesn't work for your child, just turn off Caillou. You don't have to launch a campaign to kill Caillou. It's okay. It's fine. It doesn't have to be for everyone.
Strong feelings about Barney. Like honestly, at this point, I feel like it was just kind of cool to hate Barney, you know, and to see who could take it.
That's what it sounds like. It is. It sounds like Barney was just an unfortunate scapegoat for like everybody on the internet's anger about the world. Like I don't like Barney, but I also don't get it. Like I don't think he deserves that much hate. It's funny because Barney's not a real person. It's funny that they're doing all this stuff. It's not harmful, but I don't think that their reasons are really justified to kill him.
Okay, solid.
He's justified to dislike the TV show, but like
they took it.
We don't have to eradicate Barney.
Eradicate him. Oh man. A couple of theories as to why people hated Barney so much. This one was kind of interesting, kind of a little not left field, but like it just kind of came out of nowhere. There was this essay about how kids hated him because he is an embodiment of cute dinosaurs, and typically dinosaurs are overpowering, evil, scary, really hard to defeat, Jurassic Park style. What movie?
No, I was gonna say there's a movie that I think we all fucking watched as a kid. It's about dinosaurs. You talked about it on the podcast where you like presses. Yeah, they're all cute.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone
cute.
loves that movie. Mm-hmm. No one had a problem with that.
Yeah, that's true. But there's still dinosaurs. There's kind of lessons going on, and like they're cute, but they're not like this type of cute. You know, Barney is like a human kind of dinosaur. He's like a furry dinosaur.
Yeah, that's true.
He is a furry dinosaur. So I think The Land Before Time has a little bit more respect because the songs were actually good. The Land Before Time, some of it was interesting from what I remember, and there was darkness in it, and there was also light, and there was themes of how friendship can overcome things, and there was people getting into fights as kids do, and then resolving it, and everything being totally okay. But Barney didn't have any of these themes. So that's kind of why people hated it. Okay, also back to this dinosaur thing real quick.
Okay.
So, seeing this like cute and harmless dinosaur allowed kids to channel their pent-up anger towards dinosaurs, because typically with dinosaurs they feel vulnerable.
Anger because dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, listen.
Okay. I didn't know that was something kids had.
Me neither. But they feel vulnerable around dinosaurs because dinosaurs are indefeatable. And pretty much this guy said that kids have no respect. and that they want to like destroy anything. This kind of happened in Jurassic Park at one point, where this kid was like, I don't care that the X-Raptor is huge and can kill me, and then the doctor like took this claw and like scraped it on the kid and was like, that's what the raptor can do to you, show some respect. So the theory is that, yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park, it has to be a little intense. So the theory is that the kids don't feel powerless around Barney. In fact, they feel like they can overpower him easily and overcome the emotions that they feel towards not being able to overcome real dinosaurs.
The things that don't exist.
I was just about to
overcome in their lives. It makes a lot of sense. I totally get it.
So that's that guy's theory.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you for your contribution.
I don't know. He just had beef with dinosaurs. Like, this guy wrote a lot about
it. It sounds like that's a personal story that he's projecting onto some children.
I totally agree. And then he goes on to be like, how many kids do you see grow up to be paleontologists? What's the point of teaching them all about dinosaurs if like they're not even real? And if it's just a phase, it's just a fleeting thing that you like. Why do people learn about dinosaurs? Why do they learn that they are so undefeatable that you're going to die the second you see them? So this guy might have been a little, he's not to lunch.
Yeah, sounds like he has some dinosaur trauma. Sounds like maybe he wanted to be a paleontologist, but like maybe didn't get into the program or something.
Maybe he was Barney.
Maybe he was Barney, yeah.
He's like, it's not me. It's the fact that I'm a dinosaur. Oh, man. And this other guy's theory, it's called Punky's Essay, is that the show wasn't relatable to kids and that kids aren't stupid. So basically, the possible struggles that can be happening at home with kids, such as family issues, socializing issues, or geographical stability, meaning like you might move around a lot and it kind of gets hard for you to make friends. Those themes aren't touched on like at all in Barney. Instead, it dumbs down the kid's experience. And to quote, no self-respecting second grader would be caught being a fan of Barney. And he said that pretty much Barney is made up of lies and it doesn't really teach you anything. And then he kind of compares it to Sesame Street, saying that at least Sesame Street is teaching you things and it doesn't try to be anything else. And it isn't preachy or unrealistic. I mean, obviously it's just puppets being puppets, but they know they're puppets being puppets and they're nothing more than that. Whereas Barney is kind of taunting children because they brought on real kids onto the show too. So this guy Punky felt that Barney was taunting children with the image that things were amazing and that everything is incredible when you're a kid, but it just isn't true for kids. So yeah, it teaches you values that are not true in your heart. So it's hard to relate to it. Yeah.
That one's a pretty good theory. That one is the most acceptable theory out of all the ones that I've heard. That he's just not relatable to kids, and that totally makes sense.
Right? It's like, I love that.
Good job, dude.
I think
maybe it was intended for like a younger audience than we're actually watching it though, because
I don't think so. I'm not.
Grade 2 to me seems too old to be watching Barney. I'm not very good with children's ages, but for me, that seems.
Yeah, you're like.
I feel like kindergarten. Maybe would be like a good Barney age. I think it's just a poorly executed children's show. I think that's the only flaw with it. Everyone. We can all calm down. That's why everyone hates it, just because it was poorly done.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough reason to hate it.
Yeah, Barney can just be a bad show, guys. It doesn't have to be about like deep-seated dinosaur issues or like
deep-seated dinosaur trauma.
I don't know, encouraging children, forcing children to hide their negative emotion. It can just be that Barney's a bad show.
Yeah,
and so we all just love to hate Barney.
Forces children to hide their negative emotions and become.
Barney's just a bad show, guys. It's not entertaining. It's not relatable. It's creepy and annoying. That's enough.
It is.
That is enough. So speaking of fun websites on the internet, I also found a really fun website on the internet that I wanted to share with you guys this week. This website is called vampirewebsite.net, and it's a resource for vampires. For people who think that they're vampires. For vampires, yeah. So for real vampires. If you're a real vampire, this website is for you. Also, if you're curious about real vampires, this website is also for you.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't. I want to be a vampire.
There was like a warning on the website that if you were here to like make fun of it, that this website wasn't for you. Oh. But I proceeded anyways, even though that's pretty much my intention. It is a wild...
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
Wild place. So basically my opinion is that vampires do not exist, but I thought I would go through it, which I didn't know that I had to form an opinion on. I didn't know that was something that humans were debating, but it is.
How do people come up with vampires in the first place? You know, I've always wondered about that. Like, how do people come up with mythological creatures if they don't exist? You know, like, how do you come up with a vampire? Maybe
that was in here somewhere. I might come upon it. My notes are a little bit of a mess, but there's something about like how they have existed in mythology for a long time, and it's like not a new idea that people are vampires or something like that. Okay. I'm ready. So on their page, on their like main page about, I don't even know what this page was about real vampires. And explaining like how it's possible that they're real and how like the whole vampire thing works. They had this paradox to explain the phenomenon of vampires, and basically the paradox is called the headache paradox. So they said it's impossible to have a headache because there's no pain receptors in the brain, yet we still continue to search for answers to what causes a headache because we know that they exist. So that's how they explain the fact that vampires can exist because
because we can't know that they exist.
Because there's people out there that know that they exist, and we continue to search for the reason why. And just because there is no reason exactly why does not mean that they don't exist. But I would also like to point out that headaches don't happen in your brain, everyone, so this paradox is incorrect. Headaches, they do know why headaches are caused, and it's because you have pain receptors over your skull. And that's where your headache happens. So this paradox is kind of wrong, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that, I guess.
They're talking about headaches inside the brain, Courtney, not headaches on your skull. The ones that happen inside.
The ones that happen in your brain.
Like in between the gushy bits.
My bad.
There's no pain receptors, but you still feel pain. So
that's my bad. Sorry, guys.
God. Interesting.
Okay. And how they explain the state of being of a vampire is that, so when you're in a state of like, maybe you're in a fight or like that fight or flight and your adrenaline starts pumping. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how true these biological facts are. Okay, these were on the website. So guys, if these are wrong, don't come at me, come at the website. But your blood starts quickly rushing between your brain and your muscles to like get you ready to go. Yeah. So in this process basically like makes your muscles stronger and makes you be able to think faster and quicker and more clear because that's where the blood is going.
That makes sense. It's like a temporary adrenaline rush, yeah.
Yeah, and then your breathing gets deeper and quicker. And because of the blood rushing between your brain and your muscles, apparently the blood leaves your digestive system and your digestion temporarily stops. So the theory is we know this state exists in humans, and vampires basically exist in this state constantly. So they're like, we know this is possible, so why is it not possible that like there's certain beings that are just always in this state?
I thought vampires didn't have blood.
Vampires have, I don't know. Well, they have to drink blood, right?
Yeah, that's true. So I guess it rushes.
They have
through
to
their
supply
veins,
themselves
so
with blood.
Even though they're not living, they still have hormones and adrenaline.
No. The theory like for a normal human, adrenaline causes this state, and vampires would just like this is how vampires function. You know?
Okay.
That's why they don't eat things, because their digestion isn't working, because their blood is just going, and that's why they're so smart, and that's why they're so strong. Oh. Because that's where the blood is going.
Guys, love this.
I can't answer too many questions because every time I try to say something on here, it makes me laugh.
This
Okay,
is so amazing.
so let's go into the disease that causes vampirism because
disease.
it's a disease. Okay, yeah. So in this theory, it's a disease that causes vampirism, and it's related to HIV. Okay, so they call it V.U.P.
Okay,
is the disease that causes vampirism.
Oh my
and
god,
there was
this is
there was a
crazy.
Quote,
they went so deep. Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's this quote on the website which just absolutely put me off the deep end. This quote, okay. So it says, if you think a vampire or even you can drink blood without that. Oh, hold on. Yes. Okay. So if you think that a vampire or even you can drink blood without that blood or part of it being absorbed into the body before it reaches the acid in their stomach, then do a simple experiment of drinking about 1 ounce of blood from a person that has AIDS and then go get tested for HIV 3 months later. If you do that experiment, you will test positive for HIV.
Oh my fucking god.
So they're basically recommending that everybody go get HIV to prove that vampirism is real, because there's the theory out there apparently that your stomach would destroy the virus, your stomach acid. So they're saying it's possible for blood to get absorbed through your mouth and esophagus before it hits your stomach. That would both infect the person, and that's why vampires can drink blood without their digestive system working. You know,
because
that kind of doesn't make sense when you think about it. If someone's like drinking blood, but their digestive system doesn't work,
right?
Know?
So
they're just saying it absorbs before it gets there. It all just
for sure
into your
that
esophagus.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because like if AIDS were to hit your stomach, then you wouldn't get it. But since it doesn't hit your stomach right away, and it hits like other parts of your body, then you don't get AIDS. But if it hit your stomach, it would destroy it. But yes, okay, gotcha.
Yes, this is their theory. I don't know if that theory is actually true. I don't think that's actually how AIDS works. I don't think it absorbs through your esophagus. I mean, I could be very wrong, but just nothing in my life indicates that I've ever learned indicates that that is how AIDS happens, that it absorbs through your esophagus. But
yeah. But okay, for sure.
And
totally.
So basically a real vampire is an infected human. And your DNA gets altered from the virus. The virus alters your DNA. Mm-hmm. But you still remain human because of the number of chromosomes that you have, and that doesn't change. So you're still human, but you have different DNA.
Okay, cool. Love that.
And the disease is transmitted through the exchange of blood, similarly to HIV. And you can also pass it on to your children through birth.
Oh.
So this happens when one parent is a real vampire. I don't know how like the actual making of the child part works, if the person's a vampire and like their other body systems aren't necessarily functioning, but it happens when one parent is a real vampire, and then that child becomes what is called a biological vampire. Mm-hmm. And the V.U.P virus basically stays dormant in your system until later childhood. And then it starts to become effective, and the child doesn't usually notice that they are becoming a vampire because they believe that these are normal changes that come with puberty, because it starts to happen around puberty. So they're like, oh, my body's changing. They told me that this would happen.
Right. And
but
you're just like, I'm 10 times stronger.
Into a vampire.
And I'm thirsty for blood. They told me this would happen.
Yeah, they warned me about this part.
I learned this in Fully Alive. I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just wondering, I think you're going to touch on this later, but I was just wondering about how you turn into a vampire, I guess, because this theory of the blood and the being absorbed into your esophagus and stuff like that, I'm just like so confused. Like, if you drink the blood of a vampire, do you become a vampire? Is that how the disease is passed along? Similar to how they think AIDS is passed along?
I guess so.
I guess
so. Because, like, if you think about in pop culture, it's normally the vampire drinks your blood.
Yeah.
Is that how you become a vampire? No, that's not how you become a vampire.
Yeah, because what happened in Twilight is that he bit her.
Yeah, but
he bit her, and then the venom got into her blood, and it changed her body because of the venom. So I guess the venom could be a metaphor for the disease. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
but I've seen other vampire type shows where like they feed off of a person or whatever, and that person doesn't die, but like they don't turn into a vampire. So I think that these are just all pop culture recreations of how it gets transmitted. But I think technically you would have to drink the vampire's blood.
Interesting.
Or because vampires, I guess, have blood in this sense, and they breathe and they have a heartbeat.
Okay. In this world, in the real world, they breathe. And they have
the real
heartbeat.
vampires, yeah, they breathe.
Okay. In Twilight, they got it a little wrong.
Oh no, they do have a heartbeat.
They don't have a heartbeat in Twilight, and they don't breathe in Twilight, and they don't have blood circulation through Twilight. In Twilight, and if you get bit by a vampire, the venom like immediately gets into your bloodstream, and then Edward had to suck out the poison, and then that's how Bella survived in Twilight.
I guess Twilight isn't an educational resource.
No, I don't think so. They should have done their research on real vampires before they made such a falsification of the vampire culture. I honestly can't believe it. These people must be so offended. I wonder what their views are on Twilight Saga.
Probably not good.
Vampire Diaries, or like literally any other vampire bitten evermore. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that's how a biological vampire happens. And for like a normal if you just get infected, if you're not a biological vampire, then most of the changes happen within the first 3 days of infection. And that's about 70 to 80% of the changes, and then the rest of the changes happen throughout the next few years. Yeah. Dude, what happens if you get bit by a vampire at age like 101? If you like drink vampire blood at age 101, would you stay in your vampire state as an old person? And like, would you be like unable to stand and like unable to like, I don't know, just like have that kind of thing? Or would you get the adrenaline rush in your body and just constantly like heal from?
Okay, it's not a real, I think that you might get a bit stronger because it does increase your strength becoming a vampire, and it increases like your memory and all these things. But I don't think you would like suddenly have the body of an 18-year-old. But I think you would get stronger than the state that you had now. Yeah. Also, the website had no definitive information if vampires live forever or if vampires just live for a really long time.
Ooh.
That was a little unclear. So it's possible that they do die. They just live longer than normal people. I don't really know.
Okay. I love that.
Okay. So now that we've gone through infection, how, the infection works, like very basic level, but that's all they give you. There is something called the super infection, okay? And the super infection happens when vampires infect each other. And they make each other stronger because, okay, this one kind of makes sense in my head. Because each time the virus enters a new host, it mutates and becomes stronger.
Oh.
And that's how viruses work, right? They do mutate and they become different and stronger. So vampires, when they feed from each other, they make each other stronger as a group.
That's crazy.
And this is why vampires hang out together.
Oh, that makes
because everyone knows that.
This is why they're cliques, obviously. This is why vampires are all together. That's why you've never met one, because they just hang out with each other. They don't need humans. They just bite each other. I wonder if like the goal as the vampire is to get bitten and bite as many people, or like drink other vampires' blood, as many vampires as you can, to like be the strongest vampire.
Maybe.
And then I wonder if there's the strongest vampire, and then if
like
a weak vampire, and if a weak vampire bites the strongest vampire, if they get all of the mutations that the strongest vampire had gotten through their entire life. Like if the strongest vampire bit like 50 other vampires, sorry, I keep saying bit, I mean drank their blood, that's what I meant, sorry.
Yeah.
Would the weak vampire, if they drink the strong vampire blood, would they become that 50 times vampire. Would they just like an alpha type of situation? Like if you just beat the strongest one, then you become the strongest one because you have the mutations. That could be crazy.
That could be crazy.
I don't in the vampire world.
I don't know the answer to it, but that could be crazy.
There's like different clans, they join together. I think we have a nonfiction book rating here.
Nonfiction. And on that page, it also mentioned that because of this fact that vampires can super infect people, that when vampires make the choice to turn a human into a vampire and like exchange blood with a human, that they're making the entire vampire race weaker, and that it's an insult to the vampire race to do that.
Oh, interesting. Why are they making it weaker? Because they're
not taking the opportunity. Yeah.
Vampire?
Like, because if they just suck the blood of like another vampire, both of those vampires would get stronger.
Yeah.
But they're doing it for a human. And so like they're not making anyone else stronger. They're not making themselves stronger. So it's like a waste, you know?
Yeah.
And then you get a new weak vampire. And then they have to like bring that guy up to speed.
For sure. You have to get them to bite like 100 other vampires. God, that sounds like such a hassle. Dude, I totally get why no one's a vampire, you know? Like, it just sounds like too much of a hassle for the vampire community to actually bite
make
a human
anyone
being,
vampires, yeah.
drink a human being, to exchange fluids. Sorry.
It's a lot.
You know what I mean. Blood.
All right.
Whenever I say bite, I mean drink.
We get it. We get it. We understand. As people who are versed in pulp culture, everyone understands.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm going to read you just all of the headings that they had on their website because I thought that was super fun. And then I'm going to give you some summaries of some of the ones that I chose to go into. Okay?
Okay.
So for the headings on the website, one of them we have energy vampires, which are like not real vampires, but people who just have the energy of vampires, I think. We have vampire-friendly bars/clubs. Letter from a real slayer. Real vampire questions and answers. We have how to find a real vampire. We have the super infection, which we went over. We have the truth about real slayers. We have vampire cults. Knowing if you're a real vampire. We have the new code, which is basically a code of conduct for all of the vampires.
Wow, they have so much stuff.
Oh, there's more.
I can't believe they have a website. You'd think this would all be locked up in a chamber, but
no, it's there for everyone.
I can't believe the Secret Society has a website.
We have recognizing a real slayer. We have comments and emails, which is where the owner of the website, whoever runs the website, posts the emails that he receives and really aggressively like breaks them down line to line.
Wow.
And like fights them back on each sentence that they sent. They're like, you're an idiot for saying this. If you just referred to this, like, it's very aggressive.
Incredible.
We have telling your friends, which is a resource if you're a vampire, how to break it to your friends.
You would have to break it to your friends. I thought you would just live with the vampire community. Oh my God. There's so many layers.
We have vampire jokes. How to get blood. Vampire myths and facts. Approaching a real vampire. We have a sobering moment from my past, which I didn't actually open that one. We have the vampire community. And then finally, we have how to get turned into a vampire. So those are all the resources that are on the website if you want to check it out for yourself.
It's like an entire library.
I know. Everything you could ever need, you know?
Seriously.
And so the first thing that I wanted to discuss is a little section that they had on one of the pages, and it's called What Will Happen to the World When They Discover the Truth. And this is what's going to happen to the entire world when they discover that vampires are actually real. And I didn't cover all of them, but I picked out a few because I thought it was interesting. The first fear that they had was the fear that they are stronger and faster because they could easily take jobs. Which... it's like a little turn that I
really
right when I saw like stronger and faster, I was like, oh yeah, they could kill us.
Yeah,
and it's like they could easily take our jobs. I was like, okay,
jobs? Are you okay? Do you think vampires need to work for what? Food and shelter? They don't need to eat or live anywhere.
I know that's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but that's a good point. Like, why would they need to work?
But
why vampires
would they want to work?
Vampires legally cannot be discriminated against, though, because of the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, which dictates that you can't be discriminated against based on your genes in your genetics. And because they have the same amount of chromosomes as humans, just simply different DNA, they can't be discriminated against. So they can take your jobs.
Yeah, so they're allowed to take your jobs. Interesting. That just sounds like, don't discriminate. I mean... I didn't know that there was a whole genetic discrimination thing. I feel like we all have different genetics, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was intended for people who have like diseases and stuff like that. They can see, you know, if you take a genetic test, how it can tell you if you're going to have, like, they can see certain markers for certain diseases. Oh, there's a whole debate around the effects of that on like life insurance and stuff like that if somebody knows that information. So I think that's what that policy is intended for. But
I see.
Apparently it's also applicable to vampires. So
that is extremely resourceful of them. Use that.
I know, they really did their research.
So amazing.
And then we have, of course, the hatred. Everyone would hate them because they're stronger and faster than us and because they're different, you know? And they related this to the LGBT.
Oh, good.
Yeah. They related it to that.
Plus. The plus is vampires.
The alphabet mafia. Yeah. They said, just like this community
for sure
was hated because they were different, so will the vampires.
Right. But I feel, yeah, maybe. I feel like the vampires are just so much stronger, though. Like,
I feel like the vampires don't care.
There's just no way.
Why do they care about the humans, you know?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they're trying to intermingle with the human beings and take our jobs. Because you're a vampire, goddammit. Go live an amazing life. Go travel. Go run fast. Go to the ocean. Like, hang out on the beach.
Well, that brings me to the next point. Because the next thing that would happen would be envy because the vampires are strong, they're fast,
I'm already
they're smart,
there.
And they get to live for a long time, and they don't have to work, apparently. The next one that I didn't really think about is population, because they can live for a really long time, which means that if a lot of people get turned into vampires, there's going to be a housing shortage because no one's dying and moving out of their homes. And how do we control the population when everyone lives forever? And to this, the author of the website said that we should be directing our attention at people who have more than 5 kids instead of the vampires.
Sounds like discrimination.
It's just so aggressive.
That's
the
so
person
rude.
who writes this website is such aggressive energy.
So rude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like at a certain point, though, in the future, once vampires do take over, you won't be having kids anymore because you won't have enough space for them. And I think the vampires are, you know, just, they sound like they're smarter and faster and stronger than us. So they would know how to actually control their own population. And they would be like, well, everyone's on birth control now. Like, no one can ever have kids ever again because we're going to run out of space. I think that they would be okay at that. And they don't want to turn people into vampires. They mentioned that earlier. So it won't be a problem. You'll actually have too many houses because you're letting all the humans die because you don't want to make your bloodline weaker.
Take that, vampires.
You'll have enough houses, not that you need them. Live in a cave.
And then the last one is that the government would want to use them for soldiers and laborers. Which is fair. That's a fair point.
That's fair. That's a fair fear to have.
All right. Now we're going to move on into how to find a vampire, okay?
Let's go.
Let's see how to pick out these people. Some of these are very specific. Okay, so the first sign is that there's going to be a dark colored ring around their iris, okay? That's the first sign.
Oh my god.
Okay, stop. Okay.
I have a dark colored ring.
Let's take a breath.
Oh my god, I think I might be a vampire. Once I hit puberty, I'm going to be a vampire. Just kidding, guys.
Okay. There was a disclaimer at the beginning of this list that I forgot to read that I didn't write down that said
you should have read it. You know
you
who you're
have
talking
to you have to have 70 to 80% of the characteristics. Just because you have one does not make you a vampire, okay?
Okay.
And that the next list is knowing if you are a vampire. The same thing stands for that list, okay?
Okay.
You have to have
70 to 80%
at least
of
85%.
Oh, geez,
at least 85% of them.
little. Okay.
And I didn't even include the whole list because some of them were just a little bit much for me.
It's like a thirst for blood. God damn.
All right. Okay, so how to find a vampire. Dark colored ring around their iris. Lidia has checking that one off. Their breathing will be shallow. The next one is so weird. Their heart rate will match that of the person sleeping next to them or the person that they're having sex with. I don't know how you would tell if your heartbeat is matched to the person that you're having sex with or the person that you're sleeping next to. That would be a little weird and invasive to just be like.
I guess if your heart is beating really fast, though, you don't need to be able, or like really hard, you don't need to be able to like listen directly to their heart. You know, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I hope this isn't too crazy, but I feel like that happens to me. Like, I think my heartbeat syncs up with other things sometimes. For example, my cat will come lie down on me and our heartbeats will sync up.
Part of me thinks this is a human thing.
I think so too.
This is something that happens.
Yeah, because I slept next to people and I felt their heartbeats sync up with mine. Like, I don't think that this is a completely vampire thing.
Or maybe Lidia is just a vampire.
I think I'm checking off 2 on this list. My breathing definitely isn't shallow, although maybe it is. Nah, I don't think it's shallow. But I mean, that does happen to me sometimes. And sometimes I'm self-conscious about it. I'm like, God, what's wrong with my heart? I feel like it's just conforming to the other people around me.
Guys.
I'm just too connected with the world.
Okay.
The struggles of being a vampire.
I should have known bringing this opinion into this space. Happens to end. All right, the next one
I don't have any other ones.
Honestly, for the knowing if you're a vampire, you have some of them. I was just looking at them, and you have some of them.
Great.
So a vampire will always know that you're looking at them, even if they're not looking at you.
Ooh.
So if you're like staring at them, they'll like turn around and know that you're looking at them.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean,
then
also kind of a human thing, though.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed. This one is a little abstract, but their aura has a heavy, dark, thick feel to it.
Oh.
And their aura will have dark clouds of energy in it.
Wow.
So there's that.
Crazy.
If you can read people's auras.
I can't, unfortunately.
This one I had never heard about before, but they take on the aspects of the animals that they admire the most.
Oh, that's so weird. Like, what do you mean?
Somebody, yeah, I don't know. They just like take on the characteristics of the animal that they like most. I don't know. I think we've all met somebody who's like been obsessed with an animal, especially as a kid, and just like acted like that animal.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it's kind of that vibe.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on about that, but
when they make eye contact with you, you will feel like it's hard to look away.
Oh.
Or if you're looking at a picture of them and in the picture they're like staring into the camera, you'll be like, "Oh, I can't look away from this person." Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Also, their nails are clear like glass, but very strong.
Wow.
I don't know how you're going to discover that about another person, but just, I guess, try to break their nail. I don't know.
Wow. Holy shit. Clear like glass. I mean, definitely not, but.
They can always find a... Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead.
They can always find a shadow, and they prefer to stand in it.
Oh.
Their bedroom is usually the coldest and darkest room of the house, which is true for a lot of people, just because that's the most comfortable to sleep in. But
yeah, that's a good point.
And electronics tend to malfunction around them, which I don't really get if it's a disease. I don't really get why their electronics don't like them, but
it's because of their heavy dark aura.
I guess it affects just the energies. It's
technology.
The vibes.
It's the vibrations.
Vibes.
It's the magnetic energy of the crazy trance and glare. The magnetic field that they give off is just too much for the electronics to handle.
It's too much.
Battery goes crazy. Magnets go haywire. The computer just sparks. Their energy is just too crazy. Too dark.
Okay. We're going to move on.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to knowing if you're a real vampire, okay? This is the last list that we're going to go through.
Okay.
So, again, everyone, you need 85% of these traits, and if you think you have 85% of these traits, go to the website, because I probably didn't write all of them down. So the first one is unusually pale skin.
Interesting.
Okay, but then...
I think I'm looking at a vampire right now.
There's a little disclaimer to this one, okay? So it needs to be pale in comparison to what your skin color should be. So if genetically, like, your family, your parents have really pale skin, that's not really a sign. But, like, if
okay.
all your family are, like, a lot darker, more tan than you, and you're super pale, then that's a sign. And also to check this one, you can cook up 1 to 2 medium rare steaks and eat them. And when you're finished them, you should have a pink glow if you're a vampire.
Whoa, that's
because you get blood.
So cool. Yeah,
blood
you got the
rush.
blood. Oh my god, that's so sick. Let's go. Always order medium rare, baby. Oh my god, that's so cool. What if you're a vegetarian? You can never find out if you're a vampire?
Nope.
Okay.
Sucks for you.
Sucks to suck.
No, I mean, you can look at the rest of the list.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, if you're a vegetarian, you're probably not surviving as a vampire because you need blood.
Oh, you know what?
And as a vegetarian, you don't get any
point.
Yep.
All vegetarians and vegans are completely disqualified from this conversation.
Whoops.
Damn, that's too bad. Really wanted to be a vampire.
All right. The next one is survived an accident that should have killed you with only a few cuts and scrapes.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, that's also very abstract. I mean, you could...
don't. There's some that I'm just like...
What if you've never been in an accident before? Like, okay, let's go. Yeah.
If you are a naturally strong magician, if you have naturally strong magic or energy user, they didn't say magician. That was me paraphrasing it, but
why did you say magician?
because magic. That was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
If you have naturally strong magic, or if you are an energy user.
Right. So the words magic and energy user working together kind of tells me that maybe they're talking about someone who might be a little psychic, might have that ability to read auras like we were talking about earlier, is really good at tarot. Yeah, it's just kind of like an inner magic. Maybe they can talk to dead people or something like that. But it's just something other than like a sleight of hand with card tricks, although maybe vampires have that
out of a hat.
Yeah. Magician.
As a kid, you were the strongest, smartest, or quickest.
Oh, cool.
Which is also kind of abstract because maybe you were just an athletic boy. I don't know.
Yeah, I know,
just
right?
An idea. This one's weird. Did your dad disappear when you were young?
What?
They didn't provide much context to that. They just said that like 60% of biological vampires have had their dads disappear when they were young. So this is just something on the list.
Oh
if your dad disappeared, you might be a vampire, guys.
I don't understand. Why would the dad vampire leave? That's so rude.
It's so weird.
I don't understand their culture.
Vampire. If you're a night owl, if you have a high alcohol tolerance or tolerance to drugs,
okay.
Enhanced.
Let's test it.
Enhanced senses. Good night vision.
Oh,
if you can like read books when most people can't at night. If you forget to like turn your light on and you're still reading.
Oh wow, that'd be a good skill to have. That's kind of nice. Oh, do you think if I became a vampire, my vision would get fixed? Like I would. Yeah,
probably.
That's sick. Oh my god, let's go.
You could also just get LASIK, but
I know that's later on the road.
A little less commitment.
I know you have to wait to get LASIK. You have to like be a certain age in order to get LASIK because your eyes don't stop developing until you're like 25 or something like that. Yeah. Or become a vampire earlier.
Yeah,
and then solve all your problems.
Or that. If you can catch things quickly or you have quick reflexes. That most people like wouldn't be able to catch. You know? Everyone knows the scene from Twilight where she drops the apple and so if you can do that, you might be a vampire.
Cool.
A sensitivity to heat or light. That one is kind of obvious. That one seems
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bleeding less than you should if you get a cut or something.
Oh,
because you have less blood in your body.
Wait a second. I have a quick question about female vampires. You may not be able to answer this, but do they get their periods?
Yeah, the website didn't really cover that one.
Damn it.
I'm sure you could there's an email that you can send Q&A to.
Oh my
I'm
god,
sure you could ask him because, I mean, theoretically, with this whole biological vampire thing, one of the parents has to be a vampire, and it didn't really say that had to be the male.
Yes.
And to get pregnant, you have to have your period.
It needs to be
You have to have your menstrual cycle, yeah. So, in theory, yes.
Interesting.
Anyways, Bleeding less than you should. Your nails are strong and clear like glass, which seems like a characteristic that's easier to recognize in yourself than in another person. Your bedroom, cold and dark. Can you digest more than 600% of the daily recommended iron? These were all posed as questions, by the way. I changed some of them into statements because they were weird as questions, but this one was just too good. I had to keep it, like, just so casually. Can you digest more than 600% of the daily recommended iron?
Let's test it and see
Let's
what happens.
do it. Let's do it. It's like drinking that HIV blood. Let's just do a quick experiment. Let's just get ourselves infected with HIV. Let's
it's like the last
overdosed
thing
on
need.
iron.
Yeah, literally. The last thing you need on the list
is
the iron thing, and you just take 600 grams of iron and you're in the freaking hospital. Like, bro, what would you say to the nurse?
I know that, like, this website, I had mixed feelings about it because on the one hand, it's kind of funny, but on the other hand, it's also like kind of encouraging people to do some really weird and unhealthy and dangerous things.
Yeah.
So I had some weird feelings about it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we have 2 more on my list. One of them is the strong urge to travel. Did not understand this one in the slightest. Everyone wants to travel. Not everyone. Most people want to travel. Most people love traveling. And I don't get why vampires want
I think what
travel.
The author of this website is trying to do is turn everybody into a vampire, because I feel like some of these traits are human traits, and if you have like 60% of these traits, then you're like, all I need is 25 more. Wait, what's the math on that? All I need is a little bit more traits, and then I'll be good, and then I'll be a vampire. And then they just kind of like do the most in order to become a vampire, because I'm convinced. I think I'm like 50% there, you know?
That's true. It's a good way to suck people in if like they can relate to a lot of these things. Yeah, that's a good point. The last one is your tech hating you. Which I also feel like is just a human trait or a trait of tech, because everyone's fucking technology hates them. Everyone is like, fuck you, computer.
Ugh, our airdrop the other day was fucking crazy. Oh my god, Ed. Me and Courtney in the same room are vampires. Together, we're a vampire.
Together we make a vampire.
Holy shit, cool. Wow, that was great. I love it. I
just have one more fun fact for you.
Oh yes, let's go.
This was at the top of a completely unrelated page, but it's just a fun fact for everyone that vampires are not immune to the coronavirus. If you're a vampire, you can get coronavirus, so please get your vaccination.
Sucks. Oh my god. What is this?
That's the last fact that I had, just that they can get COVID-19. I thought that was really funny.
That right there turned me into a non-believer.
It also just shows that, like, they're really updating this website. Like, this guy's really invested in this whole vampire thing, that he was like, oh my god, people gotta know. All right, guys, and that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think about the whole Barney thing. Did you hate Barney? Is this like
Tell
burning
us your
rage?
Rhyme.
Yeah, what's your rhyme? That's a good one. But also, is the rage towards Barney really justified? Do you believe those reasons? Or is it just a shitty show that everyone loves to hate? And thank you for listening to my, I guess, kind of opinion. My opinion is that vampires don't exist, but thank you for coming along on that weird journey that I went through. Just discovering this website, and I hope you check it out because it's hours of entertainment. And if you want to let us know what you think, you can reach out to us on Instagram at very.unimportant.people. You can email us at hatersclickhere, and that's H8TRS clickhere@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. We're VUnimportantPPL. You know the drill. You can find us on TikTok. I think we're up followers, so some of you are finding us. So good job. Good internet skills.
You are a master searcher.
Congrats.
You can find us on TikTok.
And that's it for us this week. Have a great